Hey everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and never really thought I'd ever be doing this. But today I wanted to bring up the Montreal Canadiens and just talk quickly about their team and this fantastic run that they're going on. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Vegas Golden Knights, I believe it was 4-1, to take a 3-2 series lead in I guess it would be the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever. The conference finals, the semifinals, they're one win away from being in the Stanley Cup Finals. An incredible feat that admittedly amongst Leafs fans, amongst Habs fans, amongst everybody, nobody could have predicted. And so I just wanted to shine some light on that team. Look, I'll admit it early here. I still do not think that the Montreal Canadiens are the best team out of the four remaining teams. In fact, I still think that they are the worst of the four teams, at least on paper and as far as the talent goes. But there's something about this team right now that they're just connecting and buying into a strategy and a game plan and executing extremely well. And they're able to take down some of the biggest teams in this league. And maybe that's the secret ingredient here. The fact that they don't have all the skill, they don't have all the talent, they don't have all the attention and the pressure, and they're taking advantage of it. But I just wanted to give a huge kudos to this team and a big thank you as well. As a diehard Toronto Maple Leafs fan, all we heard all season was that the North Division was garbage and that whatever team came out of the North Division had no chance. Now, the series between Montreal and the Golden Knights is far from over. 3-2 is a great lead to have, but it is not a done series yet. So by no means have I given this series to Montreal yet. However, the fact that they've even got 3 wins to this point and have led in this series at multiple times shows that the North Division isn't as weak as everybody once thought. Now, who knows if the Toronto Maple Leafs or any of the other Canadian teams were in this position and playing the Golden Knights, they all have different styles of the game. Montreal plays a very defensive lockdown style, whereas Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg, they're more of a high-flying offense. Who knows how that would match up? And for all we know, that team would have get swept. But for Montreal to come out and have a strong performance for the entire world and the United States to see, it's really awesome to see. Now, I don't personally buy into the idea of cheering for a Canadian team just because they're a Canadian team. If they were playing for Team Canada, absolutely. I'm not necessarily cheering for Montreal. I'll admit that. They are my rivals, so I'm not hoping that they beat the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm just watching for entertaining hockey. But it is impressive to see, and I can recognize a really strong team that's buying in, playing for each other, and again, is representing the Canadian division to an extent. And it's nice to see that that team is having some success in the postseason. Not only are the Montreal Canadiens playing against the Vegas Golden Knights, who came second in the entire league, I think tying for most points with Colorado, but losing the tiebreaker, so coming second overall. So that's a big enough feat as it is. But to see the officiating that's going on in this series as well, not to mention the whole advantage of Vegas having all their fans back in the building and Montreal only supporting some at minimal capacity, those are huge hurdles to have to overcome. And I think that there's a blatant bias in this series. Everybody's talking about it right now. I don't think it's something we should shy away from talking about because that's not the way that things are going to change. But kudos to Montreal. I mean, you're playing through all of these challenges. You're playing a high-flying offense that you've only given goals to, like, Nick Waugh. He's the best goal scorer on Vegas right now. And Montreal is winning those low-event, low-scoring games, and Carey Price is playing like Carey Price can in the playoffs, and he has this entire series as well as the other series leading up to this. And Montreal's just on a heater right now. They've got so many guys that are just playing their roles so perfectly. I wish that, of course I'm going to bring up the Toronto Maple Leafs in this. I wish that our team could really build a program similar to this, not in the fact that like the exact build, because again, I don't think Montreal statistically and on paper is a great team. They were below 500 team in the regular season. But the idea that they can play for one another and the little guys are going to step up. Like Corey Perry is playing his role to perfection right now in the playoffs, and he is the exact player that I think Wayne Simmons could be. And Wayne Simmons in the first series against Montreal didn't do his role. He didn't play any offensive hockey. He didn't play his physical style of hockey. He didn't do all the intangibles that Corey Perry has been executing to perfection for 3 straight series now. And then you got the likes of like Paul Byron, who I've always thought is an underrated player and is a great player, but he's really stepping up. Nick Suzuki is really solidifying his role as a 200-foot player, a perfect centerman that can play both sides of the ice. But you don't have like any of those pure goal scorers other than, you could argue, Cole Caulfield, but at the same time, he's just at the very beginning of his career. So do you want to rely on him as your number one goal scorer? But he's stepping up as well, and he's able to prove that he can score in the playoffs. He just got his third last night. And the team is just gelling together really well. You've got injuries on the back end in Petrie and Weber, but they're playing through it and they're playing solid. It's just the game plan, the idea that, we've got a set identity. It's that we're not going to give you any good looks at the net. We're going to clog the neutral zone. We're going to keep you low offense, low action hockey. And it's working. It's working so well. They're up 3-2 in the series. Again, series is not over, but they're in an excellent position and only 5 wins away from a Stanley Cup. I've heard some people ask, would it make you feel any better about the Toronto Maple Leafs losing to the team that makes it to the Stanley Cup final if ultimately Montreal gets that next win against Vegas? For me personally, no. We've had it in the past. Leafs played Boston and they made it to the finals, I think 2 of the 3 times that we played them recently. So, well, in my mind, I kind of go, okay, well, we got a really tough first round matchup. The Leafs were still up 3-1 in a series against Montreal, had the opportunity to win it in overtime on numerous occasions, just couldn't pull through, didn't step up in the important games. That series was ours for the taking. We handed it to Montreal. Good for Montreal for sticking with it and playing in their game plan and pushing their way through to this third round so far and potentially the finals, but that's on the Toronto Maple Leafs, not on the Montreal Canadiens for that first round series. So for Montreal to come to the finals, for me to think that, Toronto is in a better position than we're really seeing them because the team that they got eliminated by is in the finals, I don't see it. I don't buy into it. I think Toronto just needs to fix their own demons and work on their own issues. Other than that, there's no added benefit for me seeing that the Montreal Canadiens are in the finals. It's funny though, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I think right now Montreal fans are just soaking up and all the success and playing with house money, which of course everybody encourages you to do. But from what I've seen, Montreal fans have no expectations anymore. You've already exceeded all of them. And right now it's just the more the merrier. But at the end of the day, we made it this far, good for us. And a lot of the fans don't seem to be believing in the team as much anymore. I was actually out at the store yesterday wearing a Leafs shirt and a Leafs mask, and some guy that came up to me wearing a Habs mask and a Habs hat was throwing some chirps at me, which I always appreciate as long as it's friendly and appropriate and just good fun banter. But he was saying, he thinks the run is over. He thinks that the luck is going to run out. He thinks that Vegas is going to win the series and walk on to the finals, and Montreal is good at as far as it lasted. But then they go on to win last night. They're up 3-2 in the series. They're only 1 win away from the Stanley Cup finals. And I don't know, maybe everybody has some belief, but I think at the same time, nobody really expected this. Nobody could say during the regular season that they expected this to happen. Nobody could say in the first round that they expected Montreal to do this well. So good for them. Kudos. I just wanted to say my congratulations. So I hope you enjoyed this different variation of a video that I make. Like I said, I usually make videos about the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I just have been watching Montreal. I've been impressed with what they're doing, and so wanted to shout them out and send some appreciative thoughts towards them as they try to get that last win to go to the Stanley Cup final. Again, not cheering for them necessarily, but it's nice to see. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you did like it, please click like. If you didn't, tell me what happened. Tell me what I could do better. And always comment. I love having the back and forth communication between everybody here watching and myself. And until then, Habs 1 win away from the Stanley Cup final, 5 wins away from the Stanley Cup championship. We'll see what happens, but thanks for watching.